I got a really exciting delivery just now and I just cannot wait to open it. So let's do it together. I want to make sure I'm being careful so I don't cut. Okay, this. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful it is. Okay, so I got 3 different cotton fabric. They are cotton wool from Etsy. And first one is, oh my gosh, I love this so much. It's this beautiful orange fabric. And these are all Indian block printed fabric from India. I will link the shop down below, but look at that. It's so beautiful and it's so lightweight, perfect for summer. Okay. Okay, so I was most excited about this one because this is what started the whole thing. Oh, uh-oh. It's not it's not as wide as I thought it would be. I hope I ordered enough. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize they were not super wide, but look how pretty. I also got this print. And I didn't get a whole lot of this one. I didn't realize they were not super wide. That's it. So lesson of the day, always look at the measurements of things that you're buying. Oh my goodness. By the way, hi, my name is Ushma and welcome to my channel. This is my sewing channel where I make clothes for myself and my family sometimes. And you might be wondering, why did I order so much fabric? Well, one, because I want to make a dress, and two, I have no self-control when it comes to fabric. So last year I made a dress for my birthday and I thought, how fun would it be to make it like an annual tradition? And so my birthday is coming up in about 3 weeks. And I thought, if I'm going to make something, I should better get going. And so I had this idea of making a long floaty dress for summer. And normally, I have always been kind of scared of patterns, especially big, bold patterns like this. I normally go for muted colors, solid colors, or a really subtle pattern, nothing too loud. But I've been wanting to experiment with some patterns and different colors. So I was on Etsy and I was looking for soft, floaty fabrics that would be good for summer, like cotton wool. And I came across Indian block printed fabrics and they were just so beautiful. But this one particularly caught my eye. It reminds me of marigold flowers. I don't know if it's meant to be marigolds, but that's what it reminds me of. And this is like such a nostalgic flower for me. This is like my entire childhood. And if you're from Nepal, like Dasai, Tihar, chilly fall mornings, and the smell of marigold in the air. It just, I love it so much. And this fabric is even prettier in person. It's got this beautiful deep purple leaves. It's got some golden here and the bright orange flowers. So what I had in mind was a long flowy maxi dress in this print, but I also wanted a very defined border, but this fabric doesn't have a border. And the person that runs this store was so nice. I saw these two fabrics in their shop. And so I asked her if either of this fabric would match this fabric somehow, and she was so nice. She took a picture of these two fabrics together and these two fabrics together, and I thought the orange one went really well with the orange color. It's a slightly different shade of orange, but I think that's okay. This one, not so much, because the purple on this fabric is really vibrant, and this is more like a blue than purple. And the shade of this green, this is more like an olivey green, whereas this one is more like peacock green. I don't know if you can see, but it's, yeah, it's more like a vibrant peacock green and purple. So I decided to get these two, but then I also loved this one so much, so I went ahead and got this one as well. I thought I could make like a blouse or something out of this one. But now I'm realizing that the fabric is not super wide. Can't remember how much I got. I think I got 2 yards of this, 3 yards of this, and 5 yards of this. Is 2 yards enough to make a blouse? I don't know. I don't know, but we'll make it work. Maybe we'll make a sleeveless blouse or something. So this one can stay on the side for now. This fabric, it does have a nice little border, but unfortunately, the border is only on one side. There's no border on this side, but there is one on this side. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to have a think about it. But you know, like, I don't need to cut out this specific border. I can use any part of this fabric. So I have two patterns in mind. I haven't decided which one. One is this vintage pattern. It's Butterick 3672. It's a digitized version of this pattern. I also got it from Etsy, and it just came in one size, which is fine. I love the puff sleeve detail and the pleats on the top. But with this one, I don't know how I would incorporate a border in this pattern. Mm, I don't know. And the other pattern that I have in mind is the one that I just made. It's the bubble frock pattern from Lydia Naomi. And this pattern, I think, will be a little more easier to execute my vision, because the bust is two pieces. So I could do the top half in this fabric, and then the bottom half of the bust in this fabric, and then do a skirt and add a border. And I could also use this fabric for the strap, and instead of the thin spaghetti strap that's in the pattern, I could make it a little more wider. So I don't know, I will have a think about that. I need to put this in the wash for now, and I don't think I'll be able to get started on this for at least the next few days. So, which is good, because it'll give me some time to think about it, because we have friends coming over this weekend from out of town, and I won't be getting much sewing done. So I'm just going to get these in the wash, ironed, and ready to go. And in the meantime, I'll try to figure out, which pattern to use and how to modify it to make it what I want. I was just so excited to get the package today, and I had to open it right now. So I will see you in a few days. Hopefully I'll have time to think about this and make a decision. So I'll see you in a few seconds, but it'll really be a few days later. Hi guys, I'm back to work on my birthday dress. So it's been about a week since I started this project. We had friends over last weekend, and it's always so nice to hang out with them. And it's almost weekend again, and I've been thinking about the two patterns that I was considering for this dress, and I've decided to go ahead with the Lydia Naomi bubble frock pattern again, just because I think it works a little bit better with the vision I have in mind. As I mentioned before, I want a dress with a contrast border on the bust, and I want the same contrast fabric to go down this side and then also at the hem. I wish I was better at illustration so I could show you a drawing, but you'll just have to wait for the end result. So I think the bubble frog pattern will work better for this project because the bust of that pattern is in two pieces, so I can just cut out the top half in this fabric and the bottom half in this one. And then when I cut the fabric for the skirt, I'm just going to cut a strip of this fabric. It does have a side seam, so I'll cut two strips for the front panel and two for the back, and then join at the side seam. And then I'm going to use this border that this fabric has for the hem. I wish this border was on both sides of this fabric, but unfortunately it's just on one side, so I am pretty limited, but I think we'll have enough. Let me actually get you closer. Okay, much better. And I think you can see how gorgeous this fabric is and the color. It's just so pretty. Ideally, I would like to use this on the hem as well as the straps. Can you imagine this on the strap? But I don't know if I have enough, so I'll have to check that out, but hopefully I have enough. And this fabric is pretty see-through, especially this white one. You can even see the pattern through it, so yeah, pretty see-through. So I am going to use this white lining fabric that I had in my stash. I'm not sure what composition of this fabric is, but it is pretty slippery, so perfect for a lining. So I am going to do that. And since I just made another video of this pattern, it was the pink dress for my gender reveal. Since I already made that video, I'm not going in too much detail, but yeah, I love this pattern. Yeah, Naomi, she has a tutorial on her YouTube of how to make this dress. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the pattern out and get started. Oh yeah, I am going to skip the scallop detail for this dress just because I think there's already enough going on with, the two different fabrics and the bold prints. I don't think it needs any more additions. And I just hope it turns out the way I have pictured in my head. So let's find out. Yeah, one last close up on the fabrics. It's just so pretty. Okay, so one thing I failed to consider or just forgot about is the front bust panel of this pattern is in two pieces, but the back is just one piece. So for the front, it's easy to cut this top half in this fabric and the bottom half in the other fabric. But for the back panel, so I got this dress that I made recently out, and so this is how it looks at the side seam. So I think it'll look kind of weird to have two separate prints and colors in the front, the orange and the white, and just have one color, whether it's orange or white on the back. And when I say white, I obviously mean this fabric. So what I'm going to do is cut the back panel in two pieces and have the top half be orange and the bottom half white, just so it matches the front. So I think to do that, all I need to do is measure the front top panel and then just cut this half here and then add seam allowance to this piece. I think it looks kind of unproportionate on paper, but when I look at it over here, it seems pretty balanced, even though the top will be a little bit bigger. I think it'll be fine because, there will be seam allowance at the top here. And then here to join these two panel, and when I cut it out, I'm going to add seam allowance on this little piece as well. So it looks weird on paper, but I'm just going to trust the process and go for it. Yeah, let's go. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to rip this border out. I know it's nerve-wracking, but it's gotta be done. I'm scared. Okay, going for it. Ah! I'm scared that it's gonna... Oh my goodness. Is it getting close? I think it's fine. Oh my gosh. Is it getting closer to the... No, it's fine. It's fine. Keep going. Almost there. Yes. Okay. Okay. That was scary. But I did it. Okay. All right. I am going to set this aside for now. Oh, there. Okay, so I've just figured out where to divide this back panel. So this is the front panel. There's the top and the bottom. And I took two pieces of these fabric and I've just sewn it together right here and pressed the seam open. So what I did was I figured out where this seam meets on this back panel. So just trying to make sure I get it right on both ends. So this is the front panel side seam and here's the back panel. So all I did was match the pattern pieces and just marked it right there. And just to make sure, I kind of did that on the back as well, because I want the seams to line up. And so like so. So there's the mark. And then this is a straight edge, so I just drew a straight line across. So now I'm just going to take this piece, fold it in half, make sure the seam is aligned, and I'm going to line up that seam right here. And cut this pattern out. So now all we have to do is sew this together. Does that match? Just a tiny bit off. I think we're good. So at this point I have done the front panel, the back panel, and here's my lining for the front, the back. All of these pieces are interfaced And I also did the straps. So I did have enough of the border fabric for the straps. So yay! I lined the straps with the same white fabric, and I've done top stitching to make sure that they stay in place. And these prints are block printed by hand, I think, so they're not super straight, but that's okay. I think it just adds character. So when I sewed this, it wasn't really a straight line, and even when I top stitched it, I tried to stay in between the two white straight-ish lines, but they're not perfectly straight. They're just like somewhat in the middle. So, and this fabric is so thin that I don't think I'm going to add a pocket to this one. It's just so delicate. I don't think it can handle the strain of having something in the pocket unless it's something super light. I think this might be the first time where I am knowingly not going to add a pocket to a garment with a side seam. So, all right, skirt next. Okay, so here's all the parts and pieces ready to go. I have prepped everything, cut out all the pieces, so we are good to go. So this is the top bust piece and the skirt. These are the straps. This is the back top piece and the back skirt. That is the trim for the hem. I've got the invisible zipper. This is going to be the side panel. I've got 4 of them, 2 for the front and 2 for the back. And these are lining. This will be the back and this is the front. So I am going to get started first with sewing the side panels on the skirt pieces, and then I'll also put the gathering stitch on the top while I'm at it. So I've attached the side panels on all the skirt pieces, and I went ahead and finished the seam with a zigzag stitch, and I also pressed and top stitched the seam allowance towards the orange fabric. So that's done, and I've also added all the gathering stitches on the main fabric. So next I'm going to add the gathering stitches to my skirt lining pieces, and then after that we'll gather the skirt and attach to the top panel. Hi, don't mind my hair or my face because I just got out of the shower. But I finished the dress yesterday and I wanted to try it on. And this is perhaps one of the best things that I've ever made. It is exactly what I had in mind. From having a picture in my head to the final dress, it could not be perfect. So, if you've made it to the end of this video, when I was explaining in the beginning what I had in mind, did you picture something like this? Because I felt like I wasn't very clear in the beginning, but in my mind, this is exactly what I had. So I'm very happy, and I'm very happy that I picked this pattern, which worked out perfectly. And this fabric and these prints are just perfect. So I really only made actually three little tweaks to the pattern. The first one is I made the straps a little bit wider because I wanted to use this trim piece for the straps. The pattern calls for like a thin spaghetti strap. And then I modified the back piece because I wanted this color to run all the way to the back. And the seams line up perfectly. So I'm very happy about that. And I also added this stripe to both the front and back panel. There is a seam here in the middle because I wanted that stripe running down the bottom. And I guess I also added the hem piece, which I again wanted to use this trim piece. So I just added the trim to the hem and zigzag stitched it and then top stitched so it lays flat. So yeah, that is how it turned out. This orange fabric is really delicate, so I'm kind of afraid to put this in the wash because I don't want it to fall apart. So I'm gonna have to be very careful about how I wash this. I'm very excited to wear this on my birthday and pretty much all summer really. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.